I remember reading this book, and the title of it was Epic. And it talked a lot about our lives being these epic stories that don't get told. We don't believe that we have a story we're telling and can contribute to something way bigger than ourselves. For whatever reason, I've just been so drawn to trying to encourage people and help them understand, like, you do have a story. I believe so much more even today how important our stories are and how important it is for us to share our lives with other people. So much of that came from when I was at Rochester College. I was first introduced to Rochester College in 1998. Rochester is this very small liberal arts Christian college. I end up in the president's office. He was very passionate about the mission of the school, and he shared his vision for this college. And man, I was like, this is amazing. And I could see myself here. I don't have the finances, the resources to be at this school, but I'm like, this is where I need to be right now. And he said, we'd love to have you here. And I'm like, well, there's no way. He says, just come check things out. We've got this orientation thing this weekend. I would love for you to meet some other students. I go that weekend, go into the registration line. They hand me this little brown envelope. Open this little brown envelope. I pull this thing out, and it's a gold key. And I'm like, what? Why is there a key? They're like, oh, that's your room key, so you can stay here. And I'm like, I'm not staying here. I'm just commuting. I only live like 30 minutes away. The RA comes over, and she's like, oh, didn't you hear? You got the president's scholarship. You have room and board paid for the next 4 years. Your school, everything is paid for. And I was like, what? As it turned out, President Johnson heard something in my story that inspired him. My parents were divorced. We lived with my dad. He worked midnights. I kind of raised myself, so I was pretty alone. I was also so self-centered. As I started developing a faith in something way bigger than me, my heart got softer, and I really started to understand what real love was. But he also saw the potential of a leader. I was leading this Bible study that had 30 or 40 kids. He just saw some natural leadership tendencies that I had, and he saw how they could be leveraged for the community. I think he saw an opportunity to say, like, I think this kid could not only benefit from going to school here, but also be an asset for our people and for our mission. And that was the moment for me that everything changed. I meet my wife there. I make so many incredible friends and experience this amazing community. And then eventually, I end up working in the enrollment department, taking trips all over the country, meeting potential students, telling them about the college, how much this place has meant to me, and trying to invite people into this opportunity. Today, I value community so much, and I feel like part of my own mission is to help people experience true, authentic community so that other people can experience some of what I took away from this experience. I always kind of dabbled with video cameras, but the way technology was, it was really hard to edit a video. And I had convinced my boss to buy me a video camera. And I said, hey, we can create little business card-sized DVDs and we can mail these out to youth groups and potential students and let them see the life change that is happening here. And so I get these tools and I get to start playing. I start shooting, I start editing, I start learning how to tell stories. And as I'm doing my job in enrollment services, I'm falling more and more in love with storytelling. I'm falling in love with trying to pull out these nuggets from people and piece it together in a way that is compelling, that's emotive, and really gets to the soul of who they are. And eventually, I'm like, I have to do this work full time. I kind of stumbled into wedding filmmaking, and we told these amazing legacy stories for these couples. And then eventually, as the business was growing and my dreams and my goals for what I wanted to do with my career, they grew. And I said, what if we told stories for businesses? And we started hanging out with founders and CEOs and having them tell us, why did you start this business? What kind of dent do you want to make in the world? And that work was so exciting. And so about 2 years ago, we were approached by Rochester University. And they said, hey, we've got a donor that wants to create a documentary to tell my mentor, Garth Pleasant's story. He's the reason why I ended up at the college. And would you guys be interested in being the film crew? And I was just like, 100%, like we're in, like let us tell this story. And then we finish the piece, and I remember I said, what if this is like what we got to do all the time? Why don't we tell the stories that are inside of higher education, the place where my life was changed in so many ways? I'm sitting in this chair right now because of the opportunity that I got 18 years ago, learning this craft and falling in love with telling stories. When I reflect about my time at Rochester University, the thing that I missed the most for the longest time was feeling like I was a part of something so much bigger than me. I was a punk kid that came from a small town, blue-collar family that had a vision that was like this big for his life, and then was surrounded by people that helped me grow that vision and see the world in a much different way. But fast forward all these years later, and my best friends are the people that I did life with on campus. We desperately need people that are in our corner. And what better place than an institution that creates a place for people to learn about life? Where else are you gonna experience community? I didn't think that growing up that I really needed that, but after experiencing it, I'm like, there's nothing more important in my life than that community. Rochester University gave me something that I didn't know that I needed. It gave me purpose.